Hey, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure, pleasure. I got confused with the time wise, but I'm okay now.
That's okay. So how are you doing during
Well, I mean, being home, so many days at home, but I've been keeping my time busy with like doing some workouts at home. I have a little gym. I also have a big history with a bicycle, so I've been riding a lot my bike. And doing that, I kind of did a little fundraise, to help those people that need, those families on the bad neighborhoods. So that's what I've been doing so far and take care of my family.
Okay. Now, how did you get into biking? Out of all things,
I'm sorry.
how did you get into biking?
Well, I had a dream when I was a little kid. I always wanted to have a bike, and the situation of my family as far as money, it wasn't that good, so I couldn't have it at that time. But as the year going on, I got successful with the basketball situation, and I start making a little bit of money. And finally, my mama gave it to me a little bike, and when I was going to practice, I used to go to practice with the bike. And then when I got to the NBA, I did the same thing. So it was a little weird for the people at the Suns, the team that I got drafted, because when I got to the gate, each one of the players has your own parking lot, with your name, write it down on a wall, and my name was there. So I was going down on a ramp, and all the Ferrari, Lamborghini, Mercedes, and my bike, you know. So it was kind of funny, but it was kind of sad after the third day that I ride my bike to practice, because the guys didn't want me to go practice with the bike. So they gave me a car, and they told me that I couldn't show up at practice with the bike, and
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So my history with the bike is kind of big, So
Yeah.
I love riding.
Okay. Now, what's the longest ride you've done since, I've looked at your Instagram. You're biking a lot. So what's the
Yeah,
longest ride you've done?
it was a couple of days ago. It was, I think, 130 miles. I think probably yes, but I did in 3 days.
Okay.
I did in 3 days. So yes, I think the most was that.
What's,
In one day, I did it 60 miles.
oh, wow. What's the
Yeah.
recovery like for that? Because that's a lot on your legs and your body.
Well, when you get used to it, it's kind of like playing basketball. It's the same thing. It's just a different sport. But for me, it's just because I've been doing that a lot. It's just another day of working out. So I've been having fun a lot with my friends. As we know all the situations with this virus, that it stopped the world. But this is keeping my mental, busy, also my condition. So this is what I've been doing so far. I haven't played basketball at all, but I've been working myself, as far as, do the things that I used to do in my routine, to play ball. So if we have a game tomorrow, I'll be ready to go.
Okay. Now, what, you know, biking can be super tiring. So what keeps you going when you do get tired?
I think like I'm playing basketball. This the same thing that when I'm tired, I had to, play with my mind, so I get stronger, and I beat all my opponents, so that's the way I do, that's the way I keep myself, biking, and riding. But it's like you say, it's really hard, it's really tough, it's not easy, but I love to do that.
That's amazing. Now, before we get into basketball, I know you welcomed a baby girl during quarantine. Can you tell me what it's like to be a new dad again?
Well, I don't know if you guys know, but I got testified positive with the virus, you know. And when I got positive, it was kind of bad because my wife, she was pregnant and she was 1 week to do it. And when I got testified positive, I told her that I was positive, and the doctor said that she wouldn't need to go to the hospital right away to deliver the baby so the baby doesn't get that. So it was kind of crazy, you know, bad time, you know. She got testified positive also, you know. I couldn't be there for her at the hospital to deliver the baby. And after we delivered the baby, she only got to be with the baby for like after 24 hours. And it was kind of complicated because it's hard for a dad, you know, to deliver a baby and you're not there for your wife and for the
Yeah.
baby. You know, the first thing you think when you want to have a baby is like to carry your baby as soon as it is delivered. So I watched from the FaceTime because I was in a quarantine, and that's how it was. But before we delivered the baby, she could have a little problem because I don't know how to say in English. Her plaquetas, her placard,
Uh-huh.
it was very very low, so she could have a problem after delivery and breathing, and she could have died. So the doctor only told me that, and she didn't know that. I only told her after it was done, and it was kind of complicated, but finally we good. Um, it's been tough, you know, to be honest to you, you know. Basketball is what I do, you know. It's my life. I love to do and play, and I never been so many months, you know, without touching the ball. You know, I think this is the first time that I've been home for so many months. You know, so I'm happy, but also I'm kind of sad just to see what is being happening all over the world. You know, and it is tough. So I hope this finally, you know, is done, and you know everybody can, you know, come back to their lives, you know, and start doing what they do. You know, it just stop everything. You know, you don't you can't go nowhere. You know, you can't go have a dinner with your friend or your wife or family. You can't do nothing. So it's kind of a tough time for everyone. It's sad.
Absolutely. Now, have you fully recovered from the virus, or do you feel
Yes,
any?
yes,
Okay.
yes. That was a couple months ago. It was right when it started, right when it got to Brazil, you know. Um, but yes, I'm finally recovery. It was a bad night, only one night, really, really bad. I thought that something could have happened with me worse, you know, than normal because I didn't have power to fight, you know, with that virus. I'm happy that my driver was at the house, and so he was able to talk to the doctors, you know, go to the pharmacy to get medicine for me. But other than that, if it wasn't for him, I don't think something could have happened with me.
Wow. Well, thank goodness you're doing well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything's great.
Now you're a dad of what, three girls?
I got three girls. Yeah, one is 11. That's the oldest. The other one is 7, and the little one is 3 months. 3 months, almost 4 months. But
Oh,
she's
wow.
fine. She's fine. I'm very very happy. You know, now I got to be a daddy. You know, I got to spend time with them. You know, and like I said, it's positive and negative. For me
Yes.
right now, this has been really good and positive because I got to spend a lot of time to them, and most of my years, you know, especially when I was in the NBA, I wasn't able to have this time with them, you know. So with the little one, the newborn, I'm being a dad, you know. I've been able to shower with them, with her. I've been able to, you know, change the diapers. I've been able to do whatever, you know, put her to sleep, you know. So this has been unbelievable time for me.
That's incredible. Now, what have your girls taught you?
What have they taught me? Uh, a lot, every day you learn something with them, even if they are youngest and they don't know nothing about the lives and the lifestyle, you always learn something with them. There's always something that they want to talk to you about it, and there's always something that you can teach them, So right now, what I learned so far is playing a lot, playing a lot. They want to do a lot right now. At this time, they are on the street. It's a gay community, but they on the street right now playing with their self ball, whatever, to keep themselves, busy. But it's been tough, especially for them. The quarantine. They have to be home. They've been studying at home at the computer. It's kind of complicated also for them. I think more for them than for us. We can handle. They don't know exactly the explanation for that. So they kind of in the middle of anything, so it's kind of tough.
Absolutely. Now, switching it up to basketball, you've played a very long career, but do you remember the first time you put on a Brazil jersey and what that
Yes,
felt like?
yes. I was 17 years old, and it was a dream come true. I think in each sports, you if you do series, if you do that sport series, you always want to put that jersey or put the Brazil jersey, and that was for me. When Oscar Schmidt used to play, Marcel, Pipoca, all the big players from Brazil. Um, Most of the time, I used to see them on TV and with the national team. So um, all I wanted to do when I started playing basketball is, represent my country, represent my daughters, my family, my wife, and I got to do that when I was 17 years old. It was tough, I didn't have much time on the court, but every time I had the opportunity, I was playing like it was my last game, So it was amazing. It means a lot to me, Every time I put that jersey, a lot comes to my mind, So it's always a pleasure, And I always live that dream every single day, every single night, every single time I play the game.
Okay. Now, what's your favorite or best memory, for the Brazilian national team?
When we beat the Argentina, that was my favorite memory. Argentina has been a tough matchup for us for so many years, and when we beat them, it was something that I think, "Oh, here we go, this is it. We
Mm,
finally beat them, Finally, we probably gonna get more respect, for other teams, other countries, and it was something that my country was asking for us players, because we always used to get the Argentina on a qualify or on the semifinal. Any situation, Argentina would cross our way, and we always used to lost. And I respected that because they have good players, great players. So you gotta respect. It was their time, but when we beat them, I said, well, now it's our time, and I was so happy when that happened.
okay. Now, in 2007 at the FIBA America Cup, you were the top scorer. What do you remember most about that 13 years ago?
That was a long time.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't really remember. Can you help me? Can you help me out?
I mean, you
So
were the
many
top
years.
scorer. You were getting buckets, so like,
I mean, that's my game, to
yeah,
be
that's your
honest.
game.
My brother used to, teach me, every time you get the ball, go to the basket, be aggressive, no one can stop you, Those details, give me, the chance in, not only with the national teams, but with the team that I play in the NBA. And that's how I got recognized, the Brazilian Blur or the Road Runner, So all I think about it was, get the ball and get buckets, and buckets win games. Of course, you have plays, that coaches
Mhm.
give it to you. You also have your teammates. I'm not able to give my buckets if my teammates don't help me, you know. So
Right.
that time, 13 years ago, I was the top scorer. It wasn't for a reason, not only for myself, but coaches, you know, and my teammates, the organization, all of them, you know, and I appreciate that.
Okay. Now, switching it over to NBA, we can't talk with you without talking about being an NBA champion. Can you take us back to that moment in 2015?
Well, it's another dream that I had, you know, and I thought that for some reason, a little bit, it never was gonna happen that for me, you know, for the reason that I got traded when I was the Phoenix Suns and I went to Toronto. Then Toronto, I went to Indiana and several other places, you know. So after I got traded from Phoenix to Toronto, being so many years on the final Western Conference finals with the Suns, I thought that would be tough for me to get a champion, you know. But for some reason, you know, for the relationship that I had with Steve Kerr, I went to a world championship, championship with Brazil to Spain, and I didn't have a contract. My contract was finished. I was a free agent, and Steve called me, and I had a really good relationship with him because he was our GM in Phoenix. So he became a coach, head coach with the Golden State Warriors the first year, and he invited me, you know, to be a part of the team. And I was surprised, and I had two options: Miami or Golden State. In Golden State, it was Steve Kerr, Alvin Gentry, Luke Walton, and Jason Collins. I knew all the four guys. You know, I had a relationship and played with them. You know, so in Miami, I didn't have nobody. You know, so I said I'm going to the Warriors. Even Miami is close to my country.
Yeah.
I decided to go to Warriors. And when he invited me, it wasn't to, you know, basically play so many minutes, you know. He wanted me to give the example that we had when I used to play for the Suns, the running gun. He wanted to do the same thing. But I wanted to play. I felt that I had a little juice still, you know, and I wanted to play. So I started fighting for that, you know. I didn't have so many minutes when I used to play, and I started getting mad and mad. I came up to Steve and I said, Steve, if you're not going to use it, trade me. You know, I'm capable to help the team. You know, I think I can, you know, give more than what I'm doing here. He said, no, you know, you don't go nowhere. I want you here. Your time will come. And Steve, he does the same thing that Pops does, the coach from San Antonio
Yeah.
Spurs. Some days he don't play you, but some days all of a sudden he put you in and he wants you to do everything. Steve does the same thing, and he did with me. I didn't play November, December, January, February, and the rest of the season. He started playing me, and he said, "Get ready for the playoffs." I say, "Okay." And I got better. You know, my game started getting better. My confidence, everything was there. And one of those games, and nobody knew who was Curry, who was Klay Thompson, who was Draymond Green. Draymond Green not even used to get jersey to play on the 5-on-5. He was on the bench because he used to play on a three, position three.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened with David Lee. He got hurt, and we didn't have nobody else to, you know, please his spot. So Stevie didn't have another option and put him, and he did a great job. And now he's Draymond Green.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson and Curry, they were like skinny, they used to make shots, but not like that, you know. And I came and I started, giving some advice for them. Steve Nash, he was retired. He also was one of the coaches at that time because Steve have a good relationship with Steve. And Steve is one of my best friends. And we we try to help them, you know, give the example that we used to do with the sons, running gun, you know, you got to run the floor, you got to do this. And it worked out.
Yeah.
One of the games that we were beating, I remember what team it was. It was like 25 points ahead. I came in, and the bench came in, and we did a very good job. I scored 15 points. I exactly remember how many points I scored. In probably 7 minutes, I scored 15 points. And after that game, the media came up to me and interviewed me. And I said, exactly this way. She asked me a question, and I said, we're going to be championship. After I said that, she said, huh? We are going to be championship. Why you say that? I said, we got all the guns, all the pieces. We got a family. We ready to do it. Why you say that? Because I've been in that situation for several years, many years, and I know what we need to do to be a champion. She said, okay, kind of like, what is he talking about? All right. So what I'm trying to say is that no one believes in our team. No one believes on Curry, neither Clay. And they prove that, you know. They start playing, they start knocking down shots, they start doing some crazy things that even me couldn't believe. And we build up a relationship on a team, a family situation that we knew that we could do that. So we went to the playoffs. We finished the season on the #1 spot. We went to the playoffs. We did a good job. Then we went to the final, and we won. So it was a dream come true for me. You know, it means everything I fight. You know, especially when I was young, when I didn't have food to eat. So it reminded me everything I went through to, you know, be successful and be on the best basketball that you could be and be a champion, you know, on the side with my friends, you know, with the coaches and other coaches, the organization, everybody. So it's I don't got words to explain what does it feel because it's unbelievable, but it's a blast. It's a blast.
Do you still keep in touch with any of the guys that you won
Oh
a
yeah,
championship
all
with?
of them. All of them.
Everyone.
Yeah, every year I go to United States, you know, and I always go to the Warriors. I always go to Phoenix, and I always try to keep my relation with them. You know, I know they won 2 more, 3 more, whatever the number is, but the first one is always
Yeah.
there. You know,
Yes.
so the first will always gonna be remembered, you know, it's always gonna be really important, you know. After that champion, they got other, you know, situations to get more, you know, champions. But the first one is always the first one.
Absolutely. Now you're 37 and you've had an incredible career so far. Do you know how much longer you plan on playing?
Well, I always tell my wife that, you know, oh, I think it's time for me to stop. She say, oh, you always say that. I don't trust you no more. I don't believe. Why you don't do this? Just keep going. And when you say, baby, I'm done, then you're done. But don't tell me that you're going to stop because you're not going to stop. So I don't know, to be honest. I still have a juice, you know.
Hmm.
Um, I still, you know, getting buckets, you know, not that blur, but it's still a little blur, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know exactly what age, you know, when or if I'm playing. I mean, it's gonna be a situation that when it's time, it's time. You know, I'm just gonna go with the flow and see what happens. You know.
Now you have, NBA championship, you have gold medals. Is there anything else you want to do in your basketball career before you do retire someday?
I think it's the last champion here in Brazil. I think that would be for sure one thing that I wanted to do, and of course on a national team. I think Brazil, my country, the population deserve something special comes from coming from the basketball sport. And, you know, I think it is something that we have to do, especially with all the players that we had in the NBA with, at from my time, you know, from my age, we had a very good squad. You know, I think we deserve to, you know, have something important for the country. Uh, I think that's my my position and mental right now to do it.
Okay. Now, what do you want your legacy to be? When people look back at you, like, what do you want them to think of?
Wow, good question. Ah, in the NBA, I mean, everybody know that I'm a good guy. You know, I always try, you know, to help people. I always try to be friendly with everyone. Um, I'm a friendly guy, you know, and everyone knows me in America because that, not only because that, for what I've done, you know, for the champion, for the six man of the year, you know, so for the Brazilian blur, you know, for the road runner, you know, I mean, in American people know me and they know who is Leandro Barbosa. You know, here in Brazil, I don't know. Like I said, it's something that we have to do to the country, which is the title. You know, something very, very special. You know, and I couldn't do that yet. You know, but I got hope. You know, I always have a hope, and I only gonna, you know, not having hope when I'm done. But it's until I have a hope, I think I'm gonna leave something special for the country after I'm done.
Absolutely. That's a good answer. Um, my last question is, who are your top, I can't interview you without asking this question. Who are your top three soccer players?
Well, I gotta go with Ronaldo. I mean,
Uh-huh.
it could be from my country.
No, they all from your country.
Okay, okay. So Pelé,
Hmm.
Ronaldo, and Ronaldinho.
Okay. I
Those
kind of
three.
I expected that. I expected
Yeah.
it, but I wanted to confirm.
You like soccer?
I do like soccer. I do. Yeah.
So who your top three?
Ooh, I like Messi.
Messi.
I like Neymar,
Yeah.
and Pele, of course, is a top of the
Yeah.
top, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those players are unbelievable. I kind of miss a lot Ronaldinho, you know,
Yeah.
for what he used to do, you know, all the skills, you know, jogo bonito. I
Uh-huh.
miss him a lot, a lot. He's one of the players that I really wanted to, you know, I wish I could still watching him, but he's done. But I love Ronaldo and Pelé. Pelé was, you know, he's a legend, you know,
Absolutely.
like Maradona, you
Yep.
know, and so those three, of course, Neymar is there too, you know. But you asked me for the top three.
Right.
Neymar definitely on the top five, but those three, those guys for me are the best.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm very excited for you and your family, and I wish you guys the best of health, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your time with your kids and being a girl dad. I'm sure it's fun.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, for the interview, to kind of, you know, give me the opportunity to talk more about basketball because I haven't talked about basketball for
Yeah,
a little while, you know. And thank you so much.
you're welcome. Wait, one more question. Do you have a hoop at your house?
I don't, I don't have
Okay.
a hoop, but I have a ball that I always, you know, dribble, you know,
Okay.
just to make sure
Yeah.
my control is right there, you know. But I mean, as far as, you know, shooting, you know, I mean, I'm 37 years old, so is everything right here, you
Yeah.
know, the mechanic.
Yeah.
So of course it helps, you know, but everything is closed. You can go nowhere. You can do
Yeah.
nothing. I thought about, you know, put a hoop at the house, but I said, man, I don't know if it's a good idea. I think this is a rest for me,
Yes.
you know, and I have to, you know, take care of my body. You know, it's so many miles on my body right now, and I gotta respect it there. So when we get back, I'll be ready to go with so many energy and power on the body, so I can do what I do.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much again. Take
Pleasure.
care and stay
You
safe.
too. You too. Take care.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
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 Ciao.